All right, guys, Grant Training Systems, welcome back. Today I want to go over the mechanics, if you will, of a push-up. And I've got my shirt off because I really want you guys to see the small movements that I'm talking about, because some of these are very crucial and important to understand to really know and promise that we're getting our shoulders and hips in that neutral position that we want. So basically, what I like to start with first is one, we need to address the law of torque, if you will. So when a joint is in flexion, we believe that external rotation is the stable position of this. And it makes a bit of sense because if you were to get in a fight and grab somebody by the collar, open a door, hang from a bar, and basically anything else you can think of where you're going into flexion, we always are in this external rotation position. And we believe this to be true because we know that our hips and our shoulders are the major engines, if you will, of our body. And with these engines, we want to have them active and firing during all exercises. Now, obviously in a push-up, our shoulders are going to be doing more work than our hips, but you will notice when we go into the exercise that our hips are actually active too, because while the shoulders create this external rotation and torque to stabilize our upper body, our hips are doing the same thing to really lock our hips in place so we don't get this lordotic lag, if you will, and start compressing some of our spines. So before we get into the actual exercise, let's talk about the name push-up. Hence the word push. When we go to push something or somebody, we don't come with our elbows out and our hands in a poor position and push. What we do is we take our shoulders, we put them in a good position, which allows our elbows and wrists to be where they need in order to push with maximal strength. So when we're going into a push up, it should be the same. So when we're down, we should not have our elbows at 90 degrees because that would be inaccurate from an actual push. So there's a reason and kind of a method behind the name push up itself. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get in the position where I would be kind of toggling here between two cameras, so I want to make sure we can see what I'm doing here. What I'm going to do now is you're going to notice that I'm in a normal, typical push-up position. But since I know that my shoulders and my hips are the prime movers or engines, if you will, for my spine to really keep it neutral and in a what would you say, in a safe position, what I want to do is make sure that the push-up doesn't start from my elbows, but actually starts for me creating some of this tension, as you can see me here, within my shoulders. Now, as I create this tension in my shoulders, you'll either see in my elbow or in the left tattoo on my hand, what happens? My elbows automatically begin to lock themselves in this position where I'm not coming out like that, but I'm also not doing these push-ups all the guys do before they go to the pool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my hands in the ground. I'm going to kind of screw my arms into the ground. But I'm also going to have my feet together and I'm going to squeeze my butt. Now, I don't need to go like crazy ninja style, but I do want to have, I would say 20 to 30% tension on it, because by doing that, I'm guaranteeing that I'm keeping my hips in a neutral position, which will put my spine in a stable position and be better for the discs, if you will. So from here, what I'm able to do is drop down. Notice that my chest basically touches first, and my elbows are always in this position, which they're not completely tucked under my body, but they're also not coming out to 90 degrees. So I think the really important thing in the push-up to remember is that if your elbows are flying out to 90 degrees, then we know we're moving from the elbow first and not the shoulder, which is what we do not want to do. The second thing is, listen to the name, push up. If you're going to somebody, to some wall or in some activity and you're pushing like this, then you need to also fix that technique. But most likely, even if your push-up is incorrect, when you go to actually push something, I bet you are doing it naturally, because this is the natural torque system the body will follow when you don't get in the way. So if you're doing that, now you understand why. So what you need to do is go to a modified version of a push-up and begin to work on that. So some people are a little bit against it, but I'm totally down with having the knees on the ground for one modified version and just practicing the upper body torque position, either letting yourself all the way down and coming up, or just going halfway and halfway up. This is a bit difficult to obviously practice the lower body torque, so the other way in which you can practice that is get the feet together, get your torque system set up, lower yourself down all the way as slow as you can, and then come back up kind of like a snake, yeah, like a wave, and then let yourself back down. That is not correct technique 100%, but don't worry about that because we're working on the eccentric motion, which eventually will get you stronger. So both of those ways are okay. Practice them, check them out. And if you have any questions, man, comment below. All right, guys, and as always, man, gtsgermany.com. Definitely check out the website. I'm basically going live right now every time on Facebook, Instagram, and Zoom with a webinar answering everybody's questions. You guys can hit me up on all of the accounts, send me questions before, and every week I'm going live answering everything. So if you haven't checked it out yet, do so now because I would love to see you guys there, answer your questions, and continue the awesomeness. Guys, until next time, peace.